the 13th.
Good morning and good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It's my computer reset and did a Windows Update edition here on Friday the 13th. That's why my background is a spooky forced back away here, because it's Friday the 13th in October of all times, which is the spookiest time of the year aside from Halloween. Now, we're going to be covering random stories today on our Friday news dump before the weekend, where we're going to pretend the news doesn't exist. So let's go ahead and get into our headlines and find out what really is happening out there before we forget that the world exists. Today on Before Coffee, Oxford crowned the best in Times World's University 2024 rankings. Who else made the grade?
In war news, U.S., Qatar to bar dispersal of recently unfrozen Iranian funds after Hamas onslaught.
In a stunning move, Tunisia snubs Brussels and refunds 60 million euros in EU aid.
And part of our Friday news dump, Bigfoot is caught on camera in Colorado mountains.
And in culture news, Rage Against the Machine's Tom Morello condemns harm to all children after Jamie Lee Curtis Gaza pick.
So, this is, those news stories and more on today, which is Friday the 13th. So good luck to everybody on Friday the 13th, October 2023 edition of Before Coffee. Okay.
All right, first news story today. Oxford is the best university in the world according to Times World University 2024 ranking. This is from David Walsh and Oceana Dubois. The University of Oxford continues its supremacy at the top of the league table in the world's best university for an 8th year, according to a newly published 2024 Times Higher Education THE World University ranking. Okay, so what that sounds like to me is that they give the most money to the Times. All those tuition payments. Hey, look at us, aren't we the best? I'm not sure what their rigorous testing is for this ranking system, is what I'm saying. But I hope they tell us. Other institutions from the Anglosphere dominate the top 10, with familiar fixtures as Harvard at 4, Cambridge at 5, and continue to be represented at the top of the board. The top 5, however, have shifted slightly, with Stanford being elevated from the joint 3rd in 2023 to 2nd this year's rankings, and Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, rising from 5th place to 3rd place. This has come largely at the expense of Harvard slipping 2 places from 2nd place in 2023, with Cambridge falling from joint 3rd to the 5th spot. More widely, there has been a noticeable decline in the fortunes of US and UK universities this year, as well as a further slide from European universities, while Asia's star continues to rise, particularly for higher education centers in China. Tsinghua and Peking, Tsinghua at 12, Peking at 14 universities, moved up the table, leapfrogging from the likes of University of Pennsylvania, Johns Hopkins University, and Columbia University. To continue the trend of Asia's growing academic clout, Japan's University of Tokyo now outperforms the University of Edinburgh, King's College London, and London School of Economics and Political Science, after rising 10 places to the 29th position. An analysis of 6 years of data by THE shows the average rank of U.S. university has declined from 296 in the 2019 rankings to 248 in the latest edition. The UK's average rank is also staying, but to a lesser extent, from 451 to 477. That's really interesting, because I would think the UK has less schools. I guess this was written by a British person, right? Because they're talking a lot about UK schools. So they're like, yeah, we can compete with America even though we're a small country and an island. I don't know. Anglophiles. University of Oxford, United Kingdom. Oh wow, there's a huge freaking table we can look at that I don't understand. I guess they did an overall ranking, what they rank on teaching. So Stanford has the highest in teaching. How research is done. So Cambridge and Oxford have the highest there. Research quality, is MIT, and then Stanford. Industry, I guess that means like teaching people how to do shit, like trade schools. The Technical University of Munich is actually the best industry school, and as well as Tokyo and Duke. And then how people see the university, so international outlook, I think that's just PR, really. Imperial College London, United Kingdom has the highest. With UCL, a lot of UK schools have the highest international outlook. So that's what the UK is doing, I guess. Which European universities are the best in the world? According to the overall scores in the THE rankings for 2024, European universities continue to be well represented in the top 50. École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne (EPFL) saw the most significant changes, jumping from the 41st. Why does it say 41st with a TH? 41st. 41st to the 33rd in a year. my tongue got confused. Must be a British. I swear a British person wrote that, because only a British person would say 41st. The London School of Economics, LSE, saw the biggest decline from 37th to 46th place, and a further drop from 2022 when it was 27th on the list. In general, most European institutions in the top 50 remain stable, either maintaining the same position or experiencing a modest drop. Non-movers include ETH Zurich 11th, Technical University of Munich joint 30th and still its best position in the ranking since 2011, and the University College London at 22. 10 top. I don't see my school on here, so I guess my school sucks. My school was dropping out of rankings long before this article. Back in 2017, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, it's not even top school in the Netherlands anymore." And I was like, "Well, this is the only one that lets me get a visa." So that's the one I went to. Top schools doesn't mean anything, because also you have to know which thing you're taking, right? This is the top school for economics, or this is the top school for sciences. In terms of quality research, defined by the THE as citation impact, research strength, research excellence, and research influence, carried out at each institution, European universities fared much better, with 4 in the top 10. The Vita Salù San Raffaele University in Milan, which overall ranked, was the 10th best university in research in the world. The highest European entry was Oxford at 5 with a score of 99, followed by the Imperial College London 8 and UCL 9 with the scores of 98.6 and 9 respectively. Other key takeaways. While still dominated by universities in the US and UK, China is slowly creeping up the THE's ranking, with Chinese institutions closer than ever to breaking into the top 10. There are now 13 Chinese universities in the top 200, 7 more than 2020. The highest ranking this year are Tsinghua University and Peking University, both rising to sit at 12th and 14th in the list. The rise of Chinese institutions has been mirrored by a decline in the fortunes of US and UK universities, as in they didn't pay the THE enough to get. No, just what? Like, I swear there has to be some money going on the table, because it's a great way to get people to come to your school, right? You pay some ranking sheet that is known for ranking universities. Hey, can you put us on like a high slot? Yeah. Now everyone will come here and we'll give you more money from tuition. Universities are money-making schemes. Don't forget that. The decline shows that despite maintaining a lead over its Chinese rivals, the US and UK, our relative power is waning. Ming Sheng, professor at the Higher Education of Sheffield Institute of Education at Sheffield Hallam University, told THE. Perhaps universities in these two countries could consider learning about the good practices from China and to appreciate different cultures and ideologies a bit more, she added. This trend also suggests a shift of knowledge economy power from the West to the East. It will potentially encourage more international students to study in China in the future. I know that the West is very full of itself, but knowledge economy has always been in the East. It's never left. I don't think it's ever left the East. Okay? As somebody who studied European history and also some Asian history for my master's thesis, the East has always been very knowledged, okay? The alphabet and algebra comes from the East, goddammit. Okay, anyways, your next story. Hopefully you found some time to find something to talk about.
Yeah, hopefully my mic works. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
It's loud enough, so I don't hear myself. I turned myself down, so because your audio was clippy. And my headphone was driving me crazy. So, all right. So, in U.S. war news, we'll go back to the #1 dominating story on every news outlet in the world. But we're going to clear up a misconception, because when this Hamas attack first happened, the right-wing media in the country got on all of the media and said, Joe Biden released $6 billion of Iranian funds, and it was used on this attack. Which the attack did not come from Iran. It came from a terrorist group, yes, supported by Iran, but the money was not transferred directly to terrorists. That's not the way it works. In fact, the money never left Qatar. So here's to clear this up. U.S. Qatar to bar dispersal of recent unfrozen Iranian funds after Hamas onslaught. Move comes amid continued GP criticism of Biden administration's deal with Tehran, in which $6 billion was unfrozen in exchange for release of 5 detained Americans. So I guess the Republicans want those Americans sent back to Iran. I guess that's what they thought that was a better plan. Just leave those 5 Americans there. The money's more important. No, it was Iran's frozen assets is what it was. Anyway, the U.S. and Qatar have reached an agreement that Doha will not act on any request from Tehran for the time being to access $6 billion in Iranian funds that were unlocked as part of a prisoner swap last month, a U.S. official said Thursday. The move, which stops short of a full refreezing of the Iranian funds in Qatar's banking system, follows a massive onslaught by Hamas and Israel with continued Republican criticism of administration's deal with Iran, in which $6 billion was unfrozen in exchange for release of 5 detained Americans. The official who outlined the understanding between the U.S. and Qatar was not authorized to comment and spoke on condition of anonymity. This is an article in the Times of Israel written by Mary Claire Jelinek and Swing Min Kim. None of the funds that have been now gone to Qatar have actually been spent or accessed in any way by Iran. Secretary of State Iran Anthony Blinken told reporters in Israel on Thursday when asked about the funds. Indeed, funds from that account are overseen by the Treasury Department, can only be dispensed for humanitarian goods, food, medicine, medical equipment, and never touch Iranian hands. The White House has said it has yet to uncover information that Iran was directly involved with the multi-pronged Hamas assault, the biggest attack in Israel in decades. Even so, Iran is principal financial and military sponsor of Hamas. U.S. officials have said their intelligence does not show a direct role by Iran. This is not pointed blame at Tehran. Why are we blaming Russia? Wouldn't Russia be more of a fucking, you know what I mean? And as Israel prepares to escalate retaliatory action against Hamas terrorists for the weekend attacks, the White House announced the U.S. government will begin evacuation flights on Friday for Americans who want to leave Israel. In a further show of support for Israel, U.S. official confirmed that U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin plans to visit on Friday following Thursday's visit by Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. Austin is expected to meet with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant to determine what additional military aid is needed in war on Hamas, said the U.S. official who spoke in condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive travel details. Speaking to reporters in Brussels on Thursday, said the U.S. is working urgently to get Israel what it needs to defend itself, including munitions and our Iron Dome interceptors. Our Iron Dome interceptors. Well, let's just have redundancy. The White House confirmed that the death toll in the war now includes at least 27 Americans, while 14 more U.S. citizens in Israel remain unaccounted for. The White House has said a handful of Americans are among the dozens of people that Hamas took hostages. U.S. officials estimate that 160,000, 170 Americans in Israel. I've been worried about too many Americans in Israel. I'd worry about Americans in Gaza because they're about to level that thing. So there's your update on the money that the Russians decided, the Russians Republicans, same thing. The Russian Republicans decided that must have come from Joe Biden caused this attack. So the morons are at it again. Of course, they were wrong, and that's that story. Back to you.
Okay, I mean, we are currently living in that time where everyone realizes that nobody is on your side, and they're all on their own side for themselves. Nobody actually cares about their fellow human being, except for us. We care.
We care because we're not on the take. We don't take little bribes.
We have no power, so the only option we have is to care. As soon as we get any power, we're not gonna give a shit about anybody. That's just how it happens.
That's right.
It looks like. Speaking of not caring about anybody, or maybe they do care, Tunisia is giving back their money to Brussels.
Tunisia.
This is from Jorge Liborio on Euronews. The Tunisian government has sent back 60 million euros in funds that were released last week. The European Commission confirmed on Thursday. The Commission has been informed that the money has been returned, says Anna Pusonero, the Commission spokesperson for the enlargement and neighborhood, without specifying the reason for the repayment. Contacts and discussions are ongoing. As if something like this has ever happened before with a non-EU country, the spokesperson said, as far as we are aware, no. The Foreign Affairs Minister did not immediately reply to the emailed questions. The grants, which come from the previous COVID-19 recovery program, were designed as a budget to support and were directly transferred to the bank account of the Treasury. This was supposed to be the first disbursement of a large 127 million euro tranche that also includes money earmarked under the EU-Tunisian Memorandum of Understanding signed in July. But days after the European Commission announced the 127 million envelope in late September, the president, Kais Saied, dismissed the financial offer, saying it was derisory? I don't know that word. Derisory and contrary to the agreement. We accept the cooperation, but we do not accept anything that resembles charity of favor, because our country and our people do not want sympathy, and we do not accept it when it's without respect, Saeed said last week. Consequently, we refuse what has been announced in recent days by the EU. The blunt remarks were widely covered by the media and sparked outrage in Brussels, where the memorandum, I can't say the word, memorandum has been touted as a blueprint for the future agreements with neighboring countries to stem migration flows. In a bid to control the spiraling narrative, the Commission said on the record that 60 million euros had been effectively paid in budgetary support, following a request from the government on the 31st of August. Olivier Vahely, the European Commissioner for Enlargement and Neighborhood, took it a step further and publicly invited Tunisia to wire back the money if they did not want it. So they threatened them on Twitter. The commissioner shared his message on Twitter formally with a screenshot of the document asking for the 60 million to be released. The implementation of the memorandum should continue once Tunisia returns the spirit of our strategic and comprehensive partnership based on mutual respect. Okay, so this is just like drama. They're just having drama. Ugh. You didn't want our money? I don't want to give it to you anymore because you didn't want it. And I don't appreciate that you didn't want. We took a lot of money out of our budget for you and you don't even want it. Just like high school drama. Now the spirit seems to be in tatters as Saeed followed through with the threat. The Commission, however, insisted that despite the latest setback, the agreement would carry on and occupy us for quite some time, even if no further disbursement is expected to take place in the coming days. This memorandum of understanding is very important. It's very important for the country. It's very important for the European Union. It is a long-term endeavor, said Eric Mammer, the Commission chief spokesperson, speaking next to Pisonero. Yes, there are going to be bumps, sometimes significant, on the road, but the Commission will continue to work on its implementation with the governmental authorities. This is the point we're at today. Still, the refund previously reported to Political Europe is an extraordinary rebuke and represents yet another deterioration in the already fragile EU-Tunisia relations, which the bloc is desperate to maintain intact as part of its migration policy. Yeah, because they want all their immigrants to go there so that they don't have to, those dirty immigrants, Don't come to Europe. We're clean here. Europeans are not clean. Just to get that clear. Just as dirty as everyone else. The goal of decreasing the number of migrant vessels that depart from the shores make their way to Italy was the prime motivation behind the memorandum. Officially signed in mid-July ceremony attended by President Kais Saied, European Commissioner President Ursula von der Leyen, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, and Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte. In times of geopolitical uncertainties, it is important to deepen cooperation with our strategic partners, von der Leyen said back then. The agreement earmarks at least $150 million in budget support, $105 million in migration management, $307.6 million for a transmission line of low-cost renewable electricity, $150 million of submarine cable of optical fiber technology. It also opens the door for $900 million in macro financial assistance, but only if they first succeed in securing a loan from the International Monetary Fund. Are there further payments meant for the country? The answer is yes. In the context of the implementation of the Memorandum of Understanding, which has some way to go, Mamer said when asked about the promised cash, there will come a point where we hope we will be in a position to disperse those funds. Quite clearly, we're not there yet. Since its presentation, the memorandum has been a target of intense criticism from the European Parliament and humanitarian organizations, which have raised the alarm about the abuses allegedly committed by Tunisian authorities against sub-Saharan migrants, including multiple cases of collective expulsion to the Libyan border. Last month, the European Ombudsman formally asked the Commission to clarify if the text included any additional safeguards to guarantee full respect for human rights. Saied has been strongly condemned for his racist views of black Africans, who has described as being part of a criminal plan to change the composition of the demographic landscape of the country. Further criticisms was piled on Saied after he denied entry to 5 members of the European Parliament and days later postponed an official visit of a delegation of the European Commission. So this guy just like, you know what? Fuck all you guys. I'm gonna be racist over here by myself. Bye. Okay, there's your update on people hating brown people. Your next story.
Okay. In bizarre cryptozoology news, this is from Fox News 9, but it was a national story. Bigfoot caught on camera in Colorado mountains, couple claims. A married couple believes, this is Silverton, Colorado. A married couple believes they spotted a mythical creature earlier this week while celebrating their 10th wedding anniversary. It's story time, y'all, Shannon Parker said in a Facebook post on Tuesday, claiming that she and her husband Stetson spotted Bigfoot while traveling on a train between Durango and Silverton in southwest Colorado. As we were passing by the mountains, Stetson sees something moving and then says nothing. It's Bigfoot, Parker continued. Parker told Fox television station that the reaction from the few people on the train who saw it was excitement, awe, and astonishment. I mean, it's not every day you see something like that, she told Fox. The couple believes they saw Bigfoot while celebrating their 10th wedding anniversary. Representatives for the USDA Forest Service, which has jurisdiction over San Juan National Forest, told Fox that they were aware of the new video recorded on October 8th, but were not prepared to weigh on its validity. The USDA Forest Service can't speculate or provide comments on the authenticity of the video. They said, "We'll be sure to alert the media if and when the Sasquatch is sighted by officials on National Forest Service lands." Parker told Fox that the creature was at least 6 feet tall or taller, with fur that was able to blend perfectly with the terrain surrounding it. According to the State of Washington National Guard, legends of Bigfoot go back way beyond recorded history and cover the world. In North America, and particularly in the Northwest, you can hear tales of 7-foot hairy tall men stalking the woods, occasionally scaring campers, lumberjacks, hikers, and the like. The National Guard wrote on a blog post titled Legend of Bigfoot. The mythical creature is also known as Sasquatch or Witigo or Wendigo. In 1976, Peter C. Byrne, the leading authority on Bigfoot research, found the only known physical evidence of the notorious Sasquatch somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. He sent the evidence to analyze by the FBI, and after 4 decades, the agency responded. Unfortunately, it just turned out to be deer hair. So that was a hoax. But this, I've seen the video, and it appears to be a man in a furry suit trolling a train. But yeah, you know, it could be Bigfoot. And other mythical beast news, the mythical, elusive Republican leader of the Speaker of the House has not been identified yet. That's right, we cannot find a Speaker of the House for the United States Congress. Republican Steve Scalise has ended his bid to become U.S. House Speaker after failing to secure votes to win the gavel. This is from AP, Lisa Mascaro, Baronaush Amiri, Stephen Groves, and Kevin fricking. A lot of people to write this story. Republican Steve Scalise ended his bid to become House Speaker late Thursday after hardline holdouts refused to back the party's nominee, throwing the GOP majority into deeper chaos and leaving the chamber still unable to function. Scalise told GOP colleagues in the closed-door evening meeting on his decision and pointedly declined to announce backing of anyone else, including his chief rival, Jim Jordan, the far-right Judiciary Committee chairman backed by Donald Trump, who had already told colleagues he no longer would seek the job. Next steps are uncertain as the House is essentially closed while the Republican majority tries to elect a speaker after ousting Kevin McCarthy from the job. I just shared with my colleagues that I'm withdrawing my name as a candidate for Speaker designee, Scalise, the House Majority Leader, said as he emerged from the closed-door meeting at the Capitol. Scalise, Republican from Louisiana, said the Republican majority still has to come together and open up the House again, but clearly not everybody is there. He been working furiously to secure the votes after being nominated by the majority of his colleagues, but after hours of private meetings over 2 days and late evenings, clear that many Republicans lawmakers were not budging and refusing to support them. So again, that is your story. The Republicans refuse to be grown-ups. They are a bunch of children that think everybody's got to be happy or it's a disaster. You know? So yeah, a bunch of children, they're trying to figure out how to please a bunch of other children, and it's never going to work, and these people should never have power again. Maybe knock them down to a minority party, have them reorganized somehow, but this is not a bunch of grown-ups. These are a bunch of children that got these really responsible jobs, and so many of them are so compromised, and so many of them are so incompetent. There's no way they can ever govern effectively. Vote blue if you want the country to run effectively, period. These guys are hack terrorists in every way. They destroyed the United States government in every way they possibly can, and they work for Russia, a good number of them. So there's my little editorial on there. And it's become glaringly obvious they work for Russia, because what did they do? They passed a budget resolution to keep the government open, and they left out funding for Ukraine. So, yeah, the only way they can get enough Republican votes is to cut funding for Ukraine. Or not vote on it at all, sorry. And your story, as the children continue to fight. Small-minded, petulant children. I don't hear you at all.
I'm
now.
muted. Here you go. It's Halloween, almost Halloween time. And who was famously in Halloween? Jamie Lee Curtis. But looks like she's on the bad guy side this time.
The bad guy.
she's also killing children. No, she's not killing children. That was a joke. Celebrities are fighting on social media over Palestinian and Israeli conflicts. This is from David Morquand on Euronews Culture. War crimes committed by any person, any organization, or any government, yours, mine, friend, or foe, must be denounced and the responsible parties held accountable. Rage Against the Machine guitarist Tom Morello has expressed condemnation of harm to any child after Jamie Lee Curtis shared a controversial post to Instagram. The Oscar-winning actress posted a photo of Gaza following the recent terrorist attacks in Israel. The image showed children running and looking up to the sky as missiles passed by with the caption, "Terror from the skies," followed by an Israeli flag emoji. Curtis aimed to show her support for Israel in the wake of the launch of a large-scale attack from Palestinian militant groups led by Hamas, guarded against Israel from the Gaza Strip on October 7th. However, backlash soon follows, as soon turns out the image was in fact located in Gaza. That's right. One viewer commented, "Just to clarify, this picture is from Gaza. The children looking up at the rockets are Palestinians." Another said, "That's Arabic back there. Look at the store signs. If this was in Israel, it would be in Hebrew." Curtis has since deleted the post and the photo off of her Instagram account. The picture was taken by the Gaza-based photojournalist Samur Abu Aluf, who shared the post over the weekend with the description, "Palestinian families seek refuge for their children from the northern Gaza Strip to UNRWA schools inside Gaza City. Children are afraid of the sound of bombing who hear it during their presence due to the events on the Strip's borders." Journalist Muhammad Shihada posted the photo on his Twitter account with the caption, "Cognitive dissonance. Jamie Curtis was deeply moved by this picture only when she thought they were Israeli. As soon as she learned they were Gazan, she lost all feelings of them and deleted the picture. Suddenly, Terror from the Sky became acceptable to her and her likes." In response, Morello reposted the journalist's tweet and shared to Twitter, "I'd like to make the radical proposal that the harming of children, no matter who they are and no matter who does it, is always wrong and should be condemned." He added, "Similarly, war crimes committed by any person, any organization, or any government, yours, mine, friend, or foe, must be denounced and the responsible parties held accountable." At the time of the writing, the death toll in Gaza now stands at more than 1,350. Israeli authorities say 1,300 were killed in Hamas' surprise attack on Saturday. So eye for an eye, is that what we're doing? Okay. Israel continues to batter Gaza with Israel continues to batter Gaza with airstrikes, hitting schools, hospitals, and residential areas. Palestinian officials say the enclave faces a humanitarian catastrophe after Israel cuts off electricity, fuel, food, and water supplies from the region. I have a lot to say, but I don't want to say it because I'll just go on a rant. In this day in history.
Twitter sucks. Yeah, all right. Well, that's what I was saying, the whole thing. Twitter sucks. Seriously, this shit does not even fucking matter. It's just Twitter shit, right?
Well, it's Instagram as well.
Oh no, somebody
Social
isn't
media.
politically in line with me. What?
Yeah.
What's that?
It was Instagram too,
Sorry?
so social media in general.
Oh, it's Instagram. Okay,
Yeah.
Again, like I'm saying, the
Remember when Instagram was for posting your photos on the internet? I remember.
Yeah. I have to virtue signal everything to everyone because I'm superior to everybody morally, you know, and then, oh my God, you're superior to me. No, wait, that's the wrong picture. Oh, fuck. Let me take the picture down. Oh no, she took the picture down. What's wrong with her? I'm like, okay. Can't put the picture up, can't put the picture down.
You can't please everyone on
Twitter
the internet.
sucks. I mean, Instagram, whatever the social media equivalent is. It's all just people just throwing shit at the wall because they got to have an opinion. I got to have an opinion. My opinion. I have an opinion, but I would like to base it on some facts I gathered first instead of just flying off the handle, you know? I gathered a couple facts. You know, I didn't report on this story till Friday, right? Happened last Saturday. I haven't reported on it at all till now. Why? Because everybody's emotional going, oh my God. Meanwhile, Sudan, 10,000 people have died. Nobody gives a shit. In other news, you know, every day I get a fucking blurb on my TV tracking how many people have died in Israel and Hamas like it's a scoreboard, right? Where's the scoreboard today? But yeah, you know, there's other wars where people are dying at higher rates. Maybe not by next week, but yeah. Anyway, today, this day in history, in 1644, and then I've already skipped ahead a day. Okay, let's go back to the right day. October 13th. 1843, B'nai B'rith, the oldest and largest Jewish service organization in the world, was founded in New York City in this day. In 1903, the Boston Americans, later the Red Sox, defeated the Pittsburgh Pirates in the first modern World Series. Still, it's 120 years old. 1943, Italy declared war on Nazi Germany. Italy declared war on Nazi Germany. 1946, after being approved by French voters in a referendum, the Constitution of the Fourth Republic is adopted in France. In 1950, the film classic All About Eve, starring Bette Davis and Anne Baxter, premiered in both Paris and New York City. Known for its acid wit, it won 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. In 1972, a flight chartered by the Ugandan rugby team, a flight chartered by the Uruguayan rugby team crashed in the Andes Mountains in Argentina, and the wreckage was not located for more than 2 months. The incident garnered international attention, especially after it was revealed that the survivors had resorted to cannibalism. They made a movie about it. There was a book called The Live that I wrote, and they made a movie about it. 1981, 1 week after the assassination of Anwar Sadat, voters in Egypt approved Hosni Mubarak as the country's new president. In 1988, the Archbishop Turin of Italy announced the carbon-14 dating indicated that the Shroud of Turin dates only to the Middle Ages, though the origins of Shroud remain controversial. So yeah, Middle Ages, roughly about 1,300 plus years after Jesus. 2010, amid great fanfare, Chilean workers are rescued 69 days after their mine collapsed in Atacama Desert, Chile. And our featured event is the cornerstone was laid for the White House. Yeah, we covered this the other day that the White House had its name changed. But in 1792, the cornerstone of the White House, the official office and home for every U.S. president and first lady since 1800, was laid in this day in 1792. And our featured birthday is Margaret Thatcher's birthday. That's right, Margaret Thatcher turns a bright and shiny 110 today. She was born on not 110. The hell am I thinking? Okay, she turns a bright and shiny 98 today if she was still alive. She was born on October 13th, 1925. I mean, she does turn that old. She's just not here to see it. In 1982 birthday, we have Ian Thorpe, Australian swimmer. In 1971, British actor-comedian Sacha Baron Cohen, known for Borat and Ali G, was born in 1971. Happy birthday, Borat. Jerry Rice, American football player, is born in 1962. And Paul Simon turns a young 72 today. He was born in 82 today. He was born in 1941. And Margaret Thatcher, we already covered. It's National Day calendar. We already covered it's Friday the 13th. But what else is it? It's National Train Your Brain Day. It's the Navy birthday today, October 13th. Happy birthday to the Navy. It's Metastatic Breast Cancer Awareness Day and National No Bra Day. So those two kind of go in hand, I suppose.
Shit, I'm wearing the one day I wear a bra and it's freaking the day you're not supposed to wear one.
Well,
I'm messed up
majorly the wrong
today.
Country for it anyway. National Yorkshire Pudding Day, so maybe you can wear that instead. But that's it. That's all the days painful. Today. Yeah, no bra day in the United States only, so maybe you can get a...
Well, it's always no bra day in Europe. They don't like bras here.
You can get you get a European exemption. Yeah, so it's opposite day in Europe. There you go.
It's opposite day.
I'm not wearing a bra. I'm not wearing a bra.
Good job.
So there you go. I'm observing it.
Also,
no
fun
bra
fact.
For me. All right.
I guess not fun fact, but men can also get breast cancer. So make sure you check your breasticles there. Even men can get breast cancer.
All right.
This has been Allison here from the Netherlands.
I'll have a doctor.
Who I guess will be wearing a bra all day in defiance against American National No Bra Day. And I will be eating a Yorkshire pudding. Have a good one. And hopefully the weekend bring some good news for Monday.
This is Roger for the United States trying to kick off a successful weekend. And hopefully we don't have more death and destruction, but I'm sure it'll happen. And this is Roger signing off for the United States for October 13th, 2023 edition of Before Coffee. Sigh. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons. And follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.